Take red.
Coming up next.
All right, ready two with the lower third.
CDC braces for a season of sickness as flu season approaches and the COVID-19 threat goes on.
Plus, some area restaurants are finding it hard to survive in the pandemic.
The COVID hit, and it was basically a nail in the coffin.
All right.
And
I don't
how
see anything
one
wrong
army
with
Ready to be open?
of reviving a fishing stream has turned into a reality. The Center County Report starts now.
Roll open.
Good afternoon,
Ready, one.
I'm Emily Kyler. We begin with breaking
Get ready to
news.
switch the
President Trump and
lower
First Lady
third.
Melania are in quarantine today after both of them and a senior aide tested positive for coronavirus. The White House doctor says the president does not feel sick and is expected to carry out his duties without interruption while recovering.
Take one.
I'm Christopher Hess.
Get
It's
his
now
graphic.
October, and that means flu season
Get rid
is
of it.
coming soon. That,
Ready,
coupled
blue.
with the coronavirus pandemic, has health experts advising people to get a flu shot. David Hadar.
Roll blue.
reports.
Take blue.
As the leaves change colors and crisp fall air arrives in Pennsylvania, flu season isn't far behind. The CDC estimates as many as 56 million people got the flu last season, and up to 62,000 people died from it. But this year, with the COVID-19 pandemic added in, health experts are bracing for a rough time. Dr. Carrie Hanley is the manager of infection prevention and control at Mount Nittany Medical Center.
If we had widespread use of these community mitigation measures combined with high influenza vaccination rates, those may be effective in reducing the incidence and impact of influenza in the U.S. as well.
The Southern Hemisphere typically sees flu season start around May or June and peak in July or August. That timeline, coupled with the pandemic, had doctors in those countries worried. Yet as the season progressed, they kept waiting for a flu outbreak, but it never happened.
I attribute much of this decline in influenza activity to community mitigation measures, such as social distancing, masking, and education that have been implemented to stop the COVID pandemic.
But she still advises people here to get a flu shot.
The flu has an annual vaccine available to protect us, whereas the COVID doesn't. So it's very important to take advantage of this added protection against the flu.
Dr. Hanley says you can get a flu shot at just about any drugstore, supermarket, or doctor's office. It takes mere minutes to schedule and get the vaccine, and most healthcare plans cover it. It's recommended you get vaccinated before the end of October, but the shot is available into the winter and spring. At State
ready,
College,
one.
I'm David Hadar with the Center County Report.
Take one.
Even if you don't have
Ready
health
two with the lower
insurance,
third.
the shot can be as little as $25. And Dr. Hanley says Mount Nittany offers drive-through flu shot clinics by appointment.
Take two.
And we have more breaking news right now. We're waiting for the new COVID numbers to come in for Center County. Yesterday, the numbers of total positive
Ready,
cases
one.
were 2,755 since March. And the coroner says a 101-year-old woman died from COVID this week. She was a resident at the State College Nursing Home.
Take one.
Penn State's University Park campus has seen
Ready,
more
red.
than 2,400 COVID cases since early August. For students testing positive, that's meant quarantine, isolation, and contact tracing. Reporter Hunter Pitkoff talked with one student about his
Roll red.
experience.
Take red.
Yeah. I missed two shows, Kelly. It was two.
Matt Saporsky was looking forward to his senior year at Penn State until an unexpected setback interrupted his semester. After coming in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID, Matt went to get tested himself.
As soon as I found out, I went to the hub to get tested, did that spit test. That came back inconclusive, and then I had to take another test. In total, I waited 8 days from my initial exposure to find out I was positive from COVID.
He says he experienced little to no symptoms during quarantine, but he still took precautions to avoid spreading it to others.
I had to stay in my room pretty much at all times. I had to wear a mask everywhere around my house. Had to wear gloves everywhere around my house. Had to disinfect everything around my house after I used it. Had to use the same utensils for 2 weeks.
After being cooped up in his house for 2 weeks, Matt Saporsky is ready to get back to his normal life and pick up right where he left off. After ending the quarantine period, Saporsky is looking forward to getting back to doing his student-run sports show, Penn State Sports Night.
The Cincinnati Reds are my team I'm going to focus on, though. They have great pitching. I like them better than the Brewers and the Giants.
After the show, Sikorsky said he's thankful his COVID experience wasn't worse.
It was great to be back, and having to miss 2 shows, that kind of that really sucked.
All right, ready, one.
Having to stay at home and be in my room.
In State College, I'm Hunter Pitcoff for the Center County Report.
Take one.
Penn State has
Ready,
conducted
two.
more than 31,000 total COVID tests since August.
Take two.
When the pandemic hit, every
Ready, blue.
restaurant in the state was forced to close their doors. While some have found ways to open and recover, many others have not been as fortunate. Rachel
Roll
Velez
blue.
has the story.
Take blue.
The COVID hit, and it was just another, it was basically a nail in the coffin. It was time to walk away.
Bill McFadden owned Mike's Wood Grill and Bar in State College, and just like many other business owners, McFadden was unable to reopen due to the pandemic. McFadden also owns Fascia Luna, a pizzeria on South Atherton Street, and understands the struggle for restaurant owners during these trying times.
The rents, a lot of new construction, and the rents are so high that, and then when they tell you that you can't open or you can only be seating at 25%, you can't make money at 25%.
According to new data from Yelp, about 60% of all businesses that have closed due to COVID will not be reopening.
And during a time when hope seems to be lost for places like Mike's here in State College, organizations like the Restaurant and Lodging Association are lending their support to Pennsylvania business owners.
Ben Felicia is the Director of Operations for the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association and is proud to be assisting business owners through the pandemic.
I mean, never before. I mean, I love this industry. Everybody kind of has everybody's back.
There aren't a ton of great options.
But I've never seen them all come together, and there might be disagreements, but we're all working for the common goal of opening restaurants safely. And proving that we can.
The association is helping business owners by providing assistance in obtaining street permits for outdoor seating, as well as working with the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board to speed up the liquor license process. As the state rules and regulations for restaurants continue to change, business owners are doing everything they can to keep their doors open. In State College, I'm Rachel Velez for the Center County Report.
Take two.
House Bill 2513 passed through both the House and the Senate last week, which would allow for 50% capacity bar seating with barriers and eliminate the mandate that requires a food purchase with alcohol. The bill may head to the governor's desk soon.
Take one.
A new commercial development
Ready, red.
near Bellefonte is expected to create hundreds of new jobs.
Roll red.
The 15-acre
Take red.
plot of land next to Bellefonte Lanes in Benner Township was purchased recently and is expected to bring a boost to the local economy. According to a company called Land of Paradise, which bought the property,
Ready, one.
a tenant will not be announced until next year.
Take one.
Several residents
Ready,
of the
blue.
State College home were forced to evacuate after a fire began
Roll blue.
inside the building.
Take
Alpha
blue.
Fire Company responded on Tuesday to a house on North Barnard Street after reports of the fire and found black smoke coming from
All right,
the
ready,
third
two.
floor. A pet cat was also evacuated. Thankfully, nobody was hurt.
Take two.
The Pennsylvania Game Commission has approved the use for night
Ready,
hunting
one.
vision for hunting fur-bearing animals. It'll go into effect about 6 to 8 weeks after the regulation is reviewed and published. Fur-bearing animals that can be hunted in Pennsylvania include raccoons, foxes, coyotes, weasels, and bobcats.
Take one.
From hunting to fishing,
Ready,
a new
red.
area of Spring Creek has been restored. And the fish swimming there aren't the only ones benefiting. Caitlin Frollo has
Roll
the
red.
story.
Take red.
The late Dr. Jerry Clare, a conservationalist and Navy Air Force veteran, had a vision for the 1,000-foot span of Spring Creek that bordered his property in College Township. Clare was a member of Trout Unlimited's Veterans Service Program, and he had a fondness for the therapeutic value fly fishing brings to those who suffer mental or physical ailments.
Standing here on a peaceful creek bank with the birds chirping and stream bubbling, you can see the serene benefits fishing here would have on someone who's experienced war and destruction.
Clare was passionate about turning this stretch of land into an accessible fishing haven for disabled veterans,
that'd be
holding
nice.
many
Thanks.
events for vets and their families before he died. Barb Schroeder of the Wildlife for Everyone says Clare's input influenced a new meaning in the creek's restoration.
And so that's what this is working to over these years, most of the time with his involvement. It's only been in the last year, and unfortunately, in the completion of this, that he hasn't been part of it.
A $17,000 grant was awarded to the Wildlife for Everyone Foundation to restore Clare's stretch of Spring Creek. The restoration, done in part with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, included stabilization of the creek bank to stop erosion and improve the stream's habitat. John Dawes, the grant provider for the project, says Clare's vision extends far past Spring Creek.
Improving water quality is eliminating one of those many pollutant sites throughout the Bay watershed.
The stream is accessible by side-by-side vehicles, which is how vets are transported to the site, with wheelchair access.
Ready,
to
one.
In College Township, I'm Caitlin Frollo for the Center County Report.
Take one.
A new trail and structure
Ready,
for
two.
wheelchair access to the stream are in the works too.
Take two.
It's a beautiful fall day
Ready,
across
blue.
central Pennsylvania. But what about the weekend? We
Ready,
have the
blue.
7-day forecast coming
Roll
up.
blue.
Also ahead,
Take blue.
Jim and gym goers in our area have had to adapt to the pandemic.
Ready, red.
We check out the changes they've had to make. That's next, after the break.
Roll red. Take red. Roll reopen.
Plenty of
Ready,
central
blue.
PA businesses have faced losses because of the pandemic, and that includes the local gyms. Reporter Summer Thomas has the story.
Roll blue. Take blue.
Going to the gym, like many activities, looks slightly different than it did before COVID-19. But gyms like F45 and State College are adapting their business practices to follow pandemic guidelines. F45 State College owner J.R. Duffy explains just how bad things were for their business from March until June, while they were closed and the university population was mostly gone.
During that 8 weeks, I would say it was probably somewhere between 25%, even a third of what we would take in for the entire year.
F45 now has their customers wear masks during workouts and socially distance themselves from others, in addition to wiping down equipment between uses. They also had to cut down class sizes by 50%. Lionheart is another gym that had to change how they operate due to COVID-19. Here at Lionheart, everyone is expected to wear a mask and also clean all equipment after use. Lionheart has gotten more business from Penn State students this summer because campus gyms being closed caused many students to get gym memberships elsewhere. Matt Stouch, a senior at Penn State and avid gym goer, talks about what it's like to have a gym available to him here.
I first think it felt really good to come back. I mean, lifting and working out's a big part of my life, so it's a necessity for me. Like, I can't go more than a couple days without lifting, and if the gym wasn't open, I probably wouldn't be here at Penn State.
Although there was the occasional person without their mask on, Stouch said that Lionheart has done a good job following pandemic guidelines.
All right, ready, one.
In State College, I'm Summer Thomas with a Center County Report.
Take one.
Times may be tough for gym
All right, ready, three with the lower third.
but many
And ready
tell
the
us
weather
they're
open.
just happy to be back in the gym.
All right, roll weather open.
Good afternoon, I'm Silva
All right.
Iverson here with your Center County Report.
All right, get rid of her
Our
lower
current
third.
camera looking out at Beaver Stadium, we do have clouds overtaking our sky this afternoon, but
All right,
look
yeah,
at
hit
these
the 360 to
fall
sports.
colors on the trees right outside
And
Beaver
ready, one.
Stadium. A great day in store with a temperature currently at 52 degrees, winds will be west at 9 miles per hour. Looking at temperatures across the central portion of the state, lower temperatures to our west, 45 in Johnstown, 52 in Altoona, and looking over towards our east, 60 in Selinsgrove and 63 in Harrisburg. Looking across the rest of the state, 59 in Allentown and 60 in Philadelphia, with 55 in Erie and 51 in Pittsburgh. So pretty much 50s across the board here in Pennsylvania today. Satellite and radar showing those clouds moving into our area. There were some heavier showers off to our east and some lighter showers, maybe even a sprinkle in Erie and Bradford this afternoon. I did want to pull up the drought monitor. This has been updated since today. Now we do have a severe drought in State College and much of central Pennsylvania. And we're really not going to see relief from this drought looking at our futurecast. We can see maybe some scattered showers moving into our area today in the evening hours, but by Saturday, a very clear sky and abundant sunshine throughout the day on both Saturday and Sunday. So a great day and a great weekend to get outside, but maybe not a great weekend to help with the drought conditions that we've been experiencing. Some clouds may move into our area by Sunday afternoon, but other than that, a mostly sunny sky throughout the weekend. 61 for our high today, mostly sunny, and maybe a spotty PM shower like I mentioned.
39 for a low and mostly clear. And by tomorrow, we'll be remaining in the 60s with abundant sunshine. Looking at our 7-day forecast, we can see very dry conditions throughout the rest of the week. And our next chance for some rain will be on Wednesday with temperatures bumping up into the 70s.
All right.
Now we'll take it over
Ready,
to
one?
Josh in sports.
Take one.
Thanks, Alex. One local youth sports organization
Ready, blue?
is still keeping kids active during the pandemic. We'll have more on how they're staying fit mentally and physically this fall.
Roll blue.
Also coming up,
Take blue.
after weeks of waiting, a local high school returns
Ready,
to the
red?
football field tonight. We'll have more on how it stayed ready for this unique season.
Roll red. Take red.
1.
Roll sport open.
I'm Josh Starr with sports.
All right.
Local athletes
Get rid of his
weren't
third.
sure if they'd get the chance to play their favorite youth
All
sports
right.
this
Ready,
fall.
blue.
But some organizations are determined to keep young athletes active and on the field.
Roll blue. Take blue.
Just like pro and college sports, the coronavirus has had a big impact on youth sports. Groups like the Center Soccer Association are now back, and players like Maddie Fallon are thrilled.
I was super excited because I really missed my friends because I obviously couldn't see them. It was good to be back.
The CSA is using safety precautions, including masking, temperature checks, and health surveys. Maddie's father, Luke Fallon, is a coach, and he says the pandemic, along with a national trend of declining youth sports participation, means fewer kids playing this fall.
I would say, you know, for some of our boys teams, we typically have 2 at an age group, and now we have 1. So, you know, some parents are more comfortable with their kids at home versus playing sports.
Registration is down almost 50% at the Center Soccer Association this year, but that's not stopping the kids behind me from having a whole lot of fun being back on the pitch. Many parents and coaches say the chance for kids to get together with friends on the playing field is a big positive during a challenging time. And the exercise helps too. The American Heart Association says almost 60% of children do not have healthy cardiorespiratory fitness.
As a father, you know, looking at the whole scenario, I think there's a lot of positives for kids being outside, being able to run, working on confidence and mental health and those types of things.
Through tough times, youth sports groups are working hard to give kids the chance
All right.
to
Ready,
play.
one. Take one.
All the same health and safety protocols take place at each game the Center Soccer Association takes part in. State High will finally return to the
All right,
field
ready,
tonight.
red?
Reporter Christopher Hess has more on how the Little Lions will attack
Roll red.
pandemic football.
Take red.
The fall smell is in the air, and you know what that means. Football. High school football returns from the State College Little Lions after months of uncertainty due to the coronavirus pandemic. Head coach Matt Lintel is ready to get back on the field after that extended time off.
We're getting there slowly but surely. Looking forward to 7 o'clock on Friday night.
State High's season is starting later than usual compared to other schools in the county, as schools like Bellefonte and Bald Eagle have already played 2 games. Lintel knows that this strange season will present challenges for his staff and his players, but the feeling of playing the game again will resonate.
We're just excited to get to that kickoff point. Try to get out there and play some football, let these kids have a great experience.
The Little Lions will have their hands full, as familiar foes will make for a competitive run towards the playoffs. The Mid-Penn Commonwealth Division presents opponents such as Altoona, Cumberland Valley, and Central Dauphin. State High has fared well in recent years, but there's a catch. This could be anyone's division to take in the crazy year of 2020. Despite not even playing a game yet, Lintel is already proud of his team for staying resilient and preparing themselves for the opportunity to finally put the pads back on.
Our kids have worked tremendously hard and jumped through every hoop that's been put in front of them this entire time. So really excited
All right, ready, one.
to see what they can do.
In State College, I'm Christopher Hess for the Center County Report.
Take one.
Kickoff between State High and Central Dauphin is at 7 p.m. in Harrisburg. Other Center
ready,
County
blue?
high schools will continue their seasons
Roll
tonight.
blue.
Bellefonte
Take blue.
will look for its first win of the season at home against Penns Valley. Bald Eagle returns to action at home against Tyrone after being postponed due to coronavirus concerns last week. And Phillipsburg Osceola
All right, ready,
will
one.
take its 1-1 record on the road to Clearfield.
Take one.
Football
Ready,
isn't
red?
the only high school sport back in action
Roll
in Center
red.
County.
Take
On
red.
Tuesday, the Tyrone girls volleyball team won a tight 5-set match on the road against Bellefonte. Phillipsburg Osceola won its match against Penns Valley in straight sets. On Wednesday, Bellefonte boys
Alright,
soccer hosted
ready,
Bald
one.
Eagle and cruised to an 8-0 win. The Red Raiders are now 8-0 and host Central on Monday.
Take one. Ready, blue.
With the Big Ten returning to play this month, Penn State has re-entered the AP Top 25
Roll blue.
poll at number 10.
Take
The
blue.
Lions are joined by 3 other Big Ten rivals: Ohio State at 6,
Ready, red.
Wisconsin at 19, and Michigan at 23. The Nittany Lions are now 3 weeks away from their first game of the season against Indiana. Coach James Franklin is feeling good about
Roll
their
red.
return.
Take red.
I'm excited about all 3 phases. We've got 3 veteran coordinators, offense,
Ready,
defense,
one.
and special teams. Feel really good about the staff that we put together. Feel really good about the leadership that we have on our team. And I know there's a lot of excitement and anticipation, moving forward.
Take one.
Adding to that anticipation, there is still no set time for kickoff. In PA
Ready, blue.
professional football, the Eagles travel to the Bay Area for a Sunday night matchup
Roll
with
blue.
San Francisco.
Take
The
blue.
Eagles are 0-2-1 and couldn't find their offense in last week's tie against the Bengals. The Niners are 2-1, but they're missing a lot of pieces. Star defensive end Nick Bosa is out for the season, and quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has not practiced this week after missing last week's game with an ankle injury. The 3-0 Steelers won't be playing on Sunday against Tennessee. The Titans had
All right, ready,
13
one.
players and staff test positive for coronavirus this week. That game is now postponed to later in the season.
Take one. Ready, two.
Sports. Now back to Emily at the anchor desk.
Take two.
Thanks,
Ready,
Josh.
red.
Coming up next,
Roll red.
the State College Art Store
Take
is
red.
revamping its look after 10 years
Ready,
with
blue.
help from a special guest. Find out more next.
Roll blue. Take blue.
One.
Take one.
The well-known
Ready, red.
Uncle Eli's Artist Marketplace in State College has brought a new look to Beaver
Roll
Ave.
red.
The
Take
10-year-old painting that sat outside Uncle Eli's has been replaced
Ready,
with
blue.
a 4-foot by 8-foot mural unveiled yesterday. The mayor was at the event too. Uncle Eli's has been open for 50 years, and owner Douglas Albert is optimistic
Roll
about
blue.
the new change.
Take blue.
This mural symbolizes the attitude of
Ready, two
the
with lower
store,
third.
that we're always thinking outside the box, trying to do innovative, creative things, and we're an art store for creative people.
Take two.
That's all for today's newscast. You can find more on our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com, or on our newscast next Tuesday. But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on Twitter. That's at Center County REP, or on our Facebook page. We also have a Center County Report Instagram. Have a good weekend.
All right, ready. Weather shot.
For the weather, Cam.
Fade it in.
How about we end at 29?
Okay.
15 seconds, we'll go to black.
Okay.
No, no break.
10 seconds, no break.
All right. Ready, black.
Jeannie, you can start fading down the music. 3.
All right, and fade to black.
Nice job, guys.